Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. I didn't think you would mind if I started this 2 minutes early, but I was sat here, I was ready, and I was excited. And I do have a special guest. Let's put him on the screen. There he is. It is Hudson on his Hudson cam. Say hi, Hudson. He's being not so cooperative today, but if I sit him next to his dreamies, he may join us for the live stream. So I have just disembarked the MSC Preziosa, as in just disembarked like a couple of hours ago. I've come home, I've washed some of my clothes, and I'm now ready for the live stream. Yes, thank you so much, everybody who's already in the chat. Thank you for your questions. If you have any cruise questions, any MSC questions, I'm going to do my best to get through them, all while Hudson is here on the side, just chewing on this box. So hopefully he will not knock over my computer, but he's had plenty of dreamies. That is why he is here. But he always wants more, don't you, Hudson? Yes, you do. But he also has Missed Me, I think. So he's sitting next to me, which is very nice. So for those of you who don't know, this is my cat, Hudson. He is the logo if you see him up there. But we will leave him there. Okay, so I'm sure in a little while people will ask me where Hudson is because they do every single live stream. I was looking earlier, I was going back through the live streams because I started these live streams in March of 2020. And it's nice to see, you know, I see the same names on this live stream that I saw on the live streams in March of 2020. And I never expected anybody to hang around. Yeah, so Tom and Dom said, just seen there was a huge queue to disembark MSC. Yes, I don't think we can blame MSC. Apparently some new UK rules came in that means that everybody getting off a cruise in Southampton has to go through immigration on the ship before people can get off the ship. Even if you're coming home, doesn't matter. We had Germans on board, French people on board, 62 nationalities on this cruise. And they basically said everybody needs to go to this restaurant at this time to go through immigration. So the line was up and down round the ship. I couldn't find the end of it for ages. And it's not the best way to end a cruise. And they say, you know, the experience you have at the end, you remember it 10 times more than the one you have at the start. Oh, Hudson's off. Hudson Cam, he's not there. But I'm sure if we shake the dreamies, he'll come back. But yes, not great. MSC, you know, I felt so sorry for the crew. People were being very, very, very rude to them in all kinds of different languages. Even if I don't understand the language, I can understand somebody who's being not very nice to the crew. And they were doing it their best. They did it in 3 waves, but it had to be all within, I think, an hour and a half. And there's 2,900 people on that ship. So, and people have excursions to go on. Not everybody's getting off in Southampton. So it was quite a lot. It was quite a lot. Hello, Johnny and Will. I saw Johnny and Will on the cruise. We spent an evening together, which was very nice. It was very nice to get to know you guys on the way to pick up their lovely, lovely doggy. Absolutely adorable. So thank you so much for your questions. I see I already have a couple of things I've missed. Richard and Gigi, hello, back from Vancouver, Hawaii, Arizona cruise. Oh my goodness, that sounds absolutely amazing. I see the name has changed from Sergeant Richard, right? Thank you so much, really appreciate that. Yes, as Kevin says, if you have a question and you can start it with question, it helps me to pick out what is a question and what is just conversation. I appreciate the conversation. Please feel free to chat in the comments, but that just helps me out. So some conversations, for example, like Owen talking about the MSC Pizzeria. Donna is a new member. Thank you so much for joining the channel. You now have access to our Discord chat, which is where the pizzeria thing comes from. That's John and Owen. But yeah, I don't know. Does anyone call MSC the MSC Pizzeria? But apart from Owen and John. I do. There's plenty of pizza on an MSC cruise, and it was fantastic. I spent the entire cruise thinking of things that MSC could stand for. It stands for Mediterranean Shipping Company, but that's not too exciting. So it's definitely the most sparkly ship for sure. Maybe sometimes chaotic, maybe, but yeah, there's plenty of things you can think of. I'll think of some before my video. I have already started putting it together, so it should not be too long. Hello, Justin, who's in here. Hello, Justin. And Del, just found your channel. Found it so helpful. Thank you so much. Yes, if you can like the live stream, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much to our moderators who are looking after this chat. I would not dare come on the internet live without you, and I really appreciate it. Tim says, I'm sure you tell, but did you get the dinner seating worked out? Yes. So I went on this cruise with some of my friends. We both requested early dining, and the website said we couldn't sit together. They had a drinks package. They don't want you drink sharing. I understand. But I knew that, with MSC, they're very, very cheap cruises. The pre-cruise and the post-cruise customer service just does not exist. If you have something, the crew on the ship are absolutely lovely. So I just thought, I'll get on board, I'll change it. We did. We went to the changing desk, and they said, we'll change it from tomorrow. For some reason, they didn't have any technology on the ship. It's one of the older MSC ships, so the app is not supported, so there's no app. And every time they took a drinks order, they had to write it down. So if we're changing dinner, they write it down and they have to do it that way. So kind of old-fashioned way, but it did work. But the first night we went to the late dining that we still had, and surprise, surprise, we were both table sharing with tables for 6. No mention of table sharing. Normally I opt out of table sharing. We were very, very, very lucky with our table mates. They were brilliant. But they had a drinks package, so I don't really understand the logic with that. But I think you've just got to go with the flow. We went with the flow. We had a fantastic evening. We met people who we would have never met. And from that next night, we got changed to early dining and we were sat together. So if you're coming up against that rule, just go on the cruise and it will be fine. It will be fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The anchor means you're a channel member. Yeah. If you see people with anchors, I think they change color the more time goes by. Maybe. I don't know. Yes. Oh, my mum's in here. Mum says, nice to have you back. Nice to see you, Mum. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Oh, it's David's birthday lunch. Happy birthday, David. Neil just got off of Wonder of the Seas. Amazing. I've booked Symphony of the Seas. I'm very excited. Arthur says, when will the Preziosa video go up? So I have started this already. I started this on the ship, but I record it when I get home. So I'll probably record it tomorrow, maybe. I've done the titles done, the thumbnails done. I need to record it and I need to spend 3 days maybe editing it. So by the end of the week, for sure, definitely. Have you seen new Icon of the Seas from Royal Caribbean? I have seen the pictures. I've seen the kind of mock-up videos. And like always, it doesn't look like it's a real thing. It looks just absolutely crazy. But we thought that about every single Royal Caribbean ship. So have no doubt it'll happen and it will be exactly as they planned it, I am sure. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for your comments. My comments are jumping up and down. Lauren says, how does MSC compare with other companies you've sailed with? I've been on a couple of P&O, but friends have started working for MSC, so might try them. I think I have maybe 4 or 5 different guides for cruise lines versus MSC on my website. So I've got Princess. I'm sure I have P&O. But just to kind of give you a quick summary, MSC are an Italian cruise line. And if you do an MSC cruise in Europe, you will have... We had 62 nationalities on our cruise, so everything was done in at least 6 to 8 languages, depending on what it was. There were 6 different menus in different languages, which of course affects things. The theatre shows, the first one was entirely in Italian, all the middle ones were in English, and the last one was mostly in French, because we were in France and we picked up 30 French people. MSC is very, very cheap, so cheap. I paid £320 for 6 nights for this cruise, which is cheaper than a travel lodge. So I don't really know how it could not be worth that price. But it is cheap. It's good for kids, I think. There's a lot of families on board, but people get on and off every single day. So, when we went to Hamburg, people got on. When we went to the Half, people got on, people got off. In some ways, that's good because it's not like a big embarkation day, stressful day. But also that means you have safety drills going on most days and you have to ignore them. And you'll see the suitcases outside the doors most days. But for me, it's just a really cheap and cheerful. You know pretty much what you're going to get with MSC. The ships are some of my favorites. Absolutely some of my favorites. Food's a bit hit and miss. It's massively better than it was on my first MSC cruise in 2012. Definitely will not be hungry. There's just certain things that they do much better than others. So that is my thoughts. But if you go to my website, I have a lot more thoughts. And I have YouTube videos about it that have lots of thoughts. I'm just going to... we jumped all the way down somewhere. to Gregory. Thank you, Gregory, for the super chat. My sister's on Queen Mary 2, heading to New York. 50-knot wind and heavy seas. She is having fun. For some people, that's fun. Yes. I think if I was going to do a transatlantic, it is Queen Mary 2. She is the last remaining ocean liner. She is so stable. So stable. So that is how I would want to do it. But thank you for the super chat, Gregory. The super chats, when they come up, they flash up on my screen and the comments go to that one. So that is how it looks for me. People, if they ever see what I'm looking at, they're very surprised because the comments, I'm on a laptop and the comments are like, I don't know, a sig for the screen. So it goes quite fast. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Terry is a new member as well. You have access to 115 podcasts now, our Discord chat, behind the scenes stuff, all kinds of things, but I'll see you on the inside. How can I become a member? There should be a join button near the subscribe button here. On my channel somewhere. What is your next adventure? So I am going from MSC to Azamara, which has got to be the strangest change. You know, MSC are this cheap Italian family-friendly budget cruise line. Azamara is small ships, luxury cruising. I'm back in my inside cabin on Azamara. But I will have, you know, the cheapest cabin on a luxury cruise. So we will see. This came down into my budget. It was under £100 per night. Normally they're double that. So I'm going to find out what that means. Which lines have the youngest and most fun-looking crowd? Fun-looking. It depends on a lot of things. You know, it depends not just on the cruise line, but it depends where you're going. It depends what time of year you go. If you do one in school holidays, that age is going to be way younger than any other time. But generally, youngest would be kind of Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, MSC. If you're doing one from the UK, you can get quite a lot of families on P&O, Marella sometimes. Older ones tend to be like the more expensive ones. It tends to be, you know, Celebrity, Princess, Holland America. Generally speaking, of course, if you take a cruise that is expensive and long, the people who are on there tend to be older because they have more, they don't have to worry about school holidays and tend to have more money. So that is that. Have you sailed with Celebrity? Yes, I have sailed with Celebrity, yes. And I did the same cruise, not the same cruise, but the same ship twice and had totally different experiences. The first time it was a weekend cruise over a bank holiday, public holiday, Britishism for you, call them bank holidays. And everyone was drunk. It was just absolutely crazy. And then I did a week on the same ship, very, very chilled out, much older crowd. And both were great, but I couldn't have said, you know, I couldn't have gone on the first one and said, oh, this is a Celebrity cruise, or the second. Like, I needed to do both. So I'm glad I did. Joe. Hello, Joe. He says, my wife and I cruise almost exclusively on Princess. Want to try a more upscale ship. Any suggestions? Well, I think Azamara might be the one. It seems to be like a step up from these mainstream cruise lines. So if you ask me again in a little while, I will let you know if it's Azamara. Or something, if you want to go a bit up higher, a bit something like Silver Sea, maybe. I can hear myself coming out of the Hudson cam over here, which is why I'm a bit listening to myself. There we go. I've turned off Hudson cam for now because Hudson's not there. Any plans to go on Europa? I think I will go on Europa, but I think I will wait until she comes closer to me, until she's back in the Mediterranean, do something like that, maybe towards the end of next year, I think. Maybe. Oh, it will not stop. The noise is still coming out. Hudson looks absolutely adorable, by the way. But let's just leave that Hudson cam. There we go. Good? Better? Yes, that's good. Can't hear my own voice anymore. Jordan says, I'm glad you had a great cruise, despite queues in Southampton and queues for bomb disposals. Yes. Would you recommend flying back based on the queues and chaos at Southampton? Flying back, as in ending the cruise somewhere else and flying back? No, you know, it's so easy. Even with a queue that took, half an hour, it's so much faster than getting on a plane. The only thing that puts me off sailing out of the UK all the time is, you know, the weather and the same sort of places that we always go to in Northern Europe. Sometimes it's nice just to get on a plane, go to the Mediterranean, but it's still so much easier. I'm sure they will do something about these new rules. But yes, yeah, Nigel says, Azamara, less than £100 per night. I know. Shocking, isn't it? And it makes me wonder why, but we're going to find out. Tom and Dom said, how did you get into the ports on this cruise? MSC coach, or can you do them yourself? So the first place we went to was Hamburg. In Hamburg, you dock in an industrial port that's quite far from Hamburg, and we got on the shuttle bus. So they have a shuttle bus. It was 11 euros, and there's not really, you can't walk it. No, even this is me saying this. So 11 euros, that's fine. We did have a bomb scare, World War II bomb on the way back, so that delayed our trip. But even still, the shuttle was pretty good in Hamburg. If you haven't watched, I did do a video about the whole World War II bomb scare thing, but it was okay. So yeah, in Hamburg, you need to do that. In Bruges, you don't dock in Bruges, you dock in Zeebrugge. And I did the Cruise Express bus. You even have to get a bus to get out. You can't walk out of Zeebrugge port. So there's a free bus that takes you to the edge of the port, and then you get on another bus. And we got on a bus to Bruges. I've used the Cruise Express since 2018 maybe. And it's basically just like a bus that goes from the port to Bruges and back over and over again. And if there's two of you, it's about half the price of getting a taxi, and it's very easy. So that's what I normally do. There are train options as well. I was planning on going to the train station. Morgan just messaged me on my phone. That's what just came up. Morgan, who I saw in Hamburg. You can do the train, but it's 1 hour, and I was going to get there like 5 minutes past. So I thought I would do the bus, and I'm glad I did. I wonder what Morgan has to say. If you don't know Morgan from Morgan's very unofficial travel guides, he's signing up for a Christmas card. That's cool. I met Morgan in Hamburg, and it was absolutely lovely. Liam says Celebrity has a younger crowd. Celebrity has an interesting mix. If you go on the newer ships, it's much younger than on the older ships. Quite a few cruise lines are like that. Joe says, luxury cruise, who are you and what have you done with Emma? I don't know, but, if anything comes down into my budget, I'm willing to give it a go. I'm really looking forward to it. Maybe this will be the last budget cruise, and I'll decide I'm an Azamara person from now on. I doubt it, but I'm interested in seeing what it's like. Have you sailed on the Meraviglia? Yes, I have twice on the Meraviglia. The same cruise twice, exactly the same cruise, 2 years in a row, which is not something I would normally do, but we bought 3 first-time cruises on a cruise. And basically, I wanted a cruise that I knew that I liked enough to bring them and do it again. So I did that, and it was very, very cheap. We did it in January for a week's Mediterranean cruise, including the flights. It was 300 and something pounds, which is just crazy cheap. And it was nice. It's nice to get out of the UK in January when it's just dark and rainy here all the time. So it was good. Loved your barge cruise. Thank you so much. I just had a message actually from Kuhn, who runs the barge, and he says they booked out an entire barge based on my video. So that's the first time I can say one of my YouTube videos fully sold out a cruise. True, it's only 20 guests, but still, I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm happy with that. Oh no, lost luggage on Azamara. I think lost luggage happens on every single cruise ship. It just seems to be a thing. I bought the air tags, and they're absolutely fantastic. I will say, like, your chances of your luggage getting lost on a cruise are so much less than on an airline. So much less. MSC in the Med, do you have a safety drill at every stop? Pretty much, yes. We did on this cruise. We had a safety drill at every stop. You don't have to do it. You only have to do it once, but you will hear it happening. It will say, for embarking guests, do this. And then it will say it in German, then it will say it in French, then Spanish. I think Portuguese as well. I think there were 6 languages on this cruise, but I will let you know. Sandy says, I'm sure you will pre-wee before getting a bus now. Yeah, when I went to Bruges, I was like, oh, I need a wee. Could wait. It's only half an hour. No, I'm not risking it anymore. We went in a cafe for a drink, and yeah, learnt my lesson for sure. Justin says, as I got a Christmas card last year, do I have to sign up again? Yes, absolutely you do. If you are not on the list, you won't get a Christmas card. So if you are a Patreon or a YouTube channel member, you'll find the link to a Google form. Fill it out, because I need it to all be in one place. There's so many Christmas cards I've got to make. I'd love to send them to everyone, but it would absolutely bankrupt me. I spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on postage last year, not to mention cards and stuff. So if you join, you're more than welcome to join Patreon or join the channel membership for 1 month. It's $5 so that you pay me for the post, so I can send it to you. But yes, today is the cutoff. Like in a couple of hours is the cutoff, because I need to send them. It's getting close to Christmas. It takes a long time to get to certain places. Is it more doable to take on an excursion to Normandy from Le Havre, or is it crazy like for Paris? It is not as crazy. It is a great option. People tend to go to Normandy. They go to Honfleur. I've not been there yet, but that's my next one to do. And Paris is about 2.5 hours drive from Le Havre. Have you ever cruised to Hawaii? Only as a child, and I did not appreciate it enough. So I definitely need to go back. Definitely. What Norwegian cruises have you done? Did you enjoy the cruise line? So I've done 11 Norwegian cruises, and none since starting this channel, I don't think. Maybe one. But I did them, my first cruise was Norwegian. When I cruised as a teenager, I did one cruise when I was 13, one when I was 15, and then 19 maybe, and they were all with Norwegian. So that is all I knew. That is where I was coming at when I started my channel, when I started my website. That was my baseline. I smell of MSC so much. I don't know if you've been on an MSC cruise. If you have, you'll know what I mean. But I keep getting a waft of like MSC. It's a good smell. I like it. And they sell it. And I bought some. So I'm going to make the Christmas cards that I'm sending out smell of MSC. So if you've never been on an MSC cruise, that's what they're going to smell like. If you do have some sort of perfume allergy, please let me know so I don't send you the smell. Okay. Yes. Question. What is your favorite time of year to cruise? For me, because I don't have children and I don't need to cruise in the school holidays, I like the kind of shoulder seasons around summer. Early summer or kind of into September, I think is very nice. I still cruise now, in January, February, November. It doesn't matter to me, but I think you get the best weather with the lowest kind of price if you do it in June, instead of July or August or September. Taking a princess cruise to Alaska next summer on the Discovery Princess. Do you think my 11-year-old will like it? So I took my first cruise to Alaska when I was 11 years old, and this is what has happened. So yes, I absolutely think so. Definitely. Oh, yes, Mum says I did Norwegian Spirit just before the pandemic in 2019. Yes, I did. So I've done one since I started this channel. We've got a new member. Thank you so much. I am getting the Christmas card thing as we speak. Thank you very much. Holiday Pete says cruise ship or private yacht. I don't know if I want to go on a private yacht. I find it really awkward. I wouldn't know what to do with myself or the crew. I'd be like, don't really need you to do anything. Cook me dinner. Oh, I like the most basic things ever. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. I guess it'll be a chilled out week for them, but yeah. Mike says, have you cruised on Windstar? I have not cruised on Windstar. It's not kind of fit with my traditional inside cabin budget cruise in November theme, but I am looking into things like this. I think it'd be a fantastic story to tell. So fingers crossed, one day I will know more than I do right now. Jim says, now that you basically cruise for a week every month, do you ever feel like you'd really like to stay home a little longer between sailings? Of course I love traveling. Of course I love cruising, but I also do love being at home with Hudson. I do miss my cat Hudson, and I miss, having a bath, and I need to get my washing done, my laundry done. But I've had a very busy few months through lack of planning, really. I didn't really plan on things being like this. It's kind of like everything stopped in the pandemic. Everything got pushed forward. Then it reopened. And I just want to go everywhere and I want to do everything. But I think into next year, I need to be a bit more organized with my time because, my last couple of cruises, I've been working on the cruises because I'm traveling. I still need to get these things done. So, yeah, maybe we'll think about it. I'm not very good at boundaries or stopping or anything like that because I find it so exciting. But yes, we will see. Oh, my conversation is jumping. Oh, hello, Mark. Hello, Thomas. I will see you on the inside. I will repost the link to the postcard thing and the Discord and all that stuff after the live stream. So that's cool. Johnny and Will, how did you enjoy your sports bar dinner on Preziosa? So I did this only because I saw Johnny and Will did it. I didn't know that they had food there. But on the last night, we thought, I just fancy a burger. I just want some onion rings. And it was good. It was really, really nice. I love onion rings. I love them so much. But yeah, if it wasn't for following Johnny and Will on Instagram, I wouldn't have known that it was there. It was included in the cruise fare, of course. I didn't spend any extra money on food on this cruise. I didn't really spend much extra on this cruise, so I didn't have a drinks package. just trying to limit my intake of Pepsi Max. It was my favorite Pepsi Max though, so it was kind of hard. And apart from that, I spent my $10 in the casino that I always do, and I won $40. So that's good. That's what I spent on my bus going into Bruges. But apart from that, it was really just drinks that I spent money on, I think, and a little bit in the gift shop, buying my MSC stuff. Yes. Would you also enjoy a nice trip on a train instead of a ship? I don't know, maybe. I don't see why not. Would you ever look into vlogs doing like day one or something? I would love to see that. If you go back 4 or 5 years on my channel, you will see exactly this. It's not content I enjoy making. It's not for me. So no, I don't ever want to be a person who's walking around in the buffet with a camera in my face. I don't like people looking at me. I want to blend in as much as I can. It's getting harder as time goes on. I met so many lovely people on this cruise. I wrote a list of everybody so I can remember. But I never want to be the, sounds weird, but I don't want to be the attention. So no, I don't like doing that. I didn't find that fun. I much prefer my kind of story planning now, where I can plan things and do it like that. Yeah, me too. I agree. I watch a lot more kind of review styles rather than vlogs, unless they're people that I like to watch regardless. Onion rings or cookies, which is better? It is cookies, but if the meal could be like onion rings, cookies, then I'm quite happy. You know what I mean? If I'm on my private yacht, all they need to do is get in onion rings, bananas for breakfast, bananas, bread, onion rings, and cookies. It's literally it. And that is fantastic. Yes, I don't know. Sometimes, it's not that I don't want to answer your question, but I've already answered the question. And I know people, if they're watching, you don't want to see me answer the same question twice. So if you ask something and I don't, maybe go back. But I can't sit and read each one because it just takes so long. My scent cruise for MSC. Yeah, absolutely. My smelly cruise. But it smells good. Any plans for Fred Olsen? I keep looking at Fred Olsen, and I met plenty of people on this cruise actually who like Fred Olsen, but it's just they tend to not go from where I am. They go from up north, and I'm down south. So at some point, yes, I just need more planning. Have you ever taken a cruise to somewhere cold? I've done the Alaska cruise. I've done Norway cruises. I've done Baltic cruises. They can be pretty Baltic. So yeah, I think that's it. I've never done like an Antarctica cruise or anything like that. Which are the best water parks on cruise ships? Oh, from Rowan, age 9. The ones I've gone on more than any other are the MSC ones, actually. The MSC water slides. I like the Norwegian water slides when they have the one that's like a big toilet and then you drop into the middle. They're pretty good. A lot of them have water slides now, though, like Carnival do, Royal Caribbean do, all kinds of things. Do you invest in cruise companies? No, I do not. Do any cruises allow dogs? Good question. Only the Queen Mary 2, but it's not like, not Queen Mary 2, but only, on a Cunard cruise, you can bring your dog, but it's not like you can't just have them wandering around in the restaurant with you. Unless it's kind of like a guide dog or something like that, you can't bring the cruise. Tom says, do you know why disembarking was so bad today? It was great meeting you, even though you managed to hide for 5 days. I had so many people on this cruise who I knew were there. They knew I was there. And it took so long to find each other because there were 2,900 people on this ship. And I guess if you just get in a routine, a different routine to someone else. And we did have, I suppose we had 2 sea days. But yeah, I don't know. I was out and about around the ship the entire time, and it was nice to meet you on day 5. I think it was just apparently there's new UK rules that came in that mean that everybody has to go through immigration on the ship. Why can't we do it on land? I don't know. Bizarre. Stephen says, does MSC match loyalty statuses on all their ships? Yes. So if you take any MSC cruise, you can match a status from Royal Caribbean, from Norwegian, from a whole bunch of different cruise lines and hotels. And you will get whatever perks you would get if you had cruised on MSC that many times. You know what I mean? So it's not like, imagine you're the top level on a different cruise line. It doesn't automatically mean that you'll be the top level of MSC, but if you've done 7 cruises, you've automatically done 7 cruises on MSC. So I'm the top level on MSC thanks to Norwegian. It's my only loyalty that I have. Not loyal to cruise lines, it's not at all, but I get some macaroons. I get some Prosecco. I brought the Prosecco home, actually. And I think that's it normally a specialty meal. I didn't go on this cruise because I was hanging out with my friends. You know, I didn't want to be like, bye, I've got to go. So yes. Good question. If you go to my website, there's an MSC status match guide with all of the different steps, all of the different hotels, everything. I think if you Google, MSC status match, it comes up with my website. So yes, exactly. Thomas says they matched Hilton. Exactly. Yeah. So think of anything. Don't just think of the cruise lines. Mark says, ahoy, Emma, how many songs did you guess playing Name That Tune in your cabin? It's tricky to play Name Your Tune in your cabin. So on my Carnival cruise, I was right below a nightclub and I could hear music and I was playing Name That Tune in my head as I was falling asleep. But I have no answers because all I heard was me. So I have no idea. To me, they're all right. That's why I guessed them. Reese says, amazed you like Norwegian so much, given all the extras they charge for and that you're a budget cruiser. Yes, it used to be different with Norwegian, though. It's very different now. And I still manage to not spend money on things. If I don't want to, then I don't. But it's the same with a lot of other big American cruise lines. Things look really cheap and then you spend more money on board. That's the plan. Does Hudson get a massive bowl of food when you go on cruises? No, definitely not, because he could not pace himself. He doesn't know how long till I come back. So other humans just feed him and they look after him. Budget. I assumed so. Yeah, gold on MSC. Very nice. Very nice. I've got mine here. So mine's like black and gold. Woohoo. Makes me feel very fancy. It doesn't really do anything. You get kind of earlier disembarkation too, I suppose, on disembarkation day. Booked a deluxe balcony cabin for my cruise to Alaska on the 9th floor, but the cabins on the 8th floor are marked as obstructive view. Do you think I would have an obstructive view? They cannot give you an obstructed view unless you've specifically said, I want an obstructive view. The complaints would be absolutely crazy. So no, it's probably that the lifeboats are slightly in the way of deck 8. Don't assume that an obstructed view is like something is here. It can be like, oh, something's to the side, something's to the other side, something's above, something's below. And I think obstructed cabins fantastic. We took a cruise, a princess cruise in the summer around British Isles. My parents had an obstructed view cabin, and it just had this big pole in the middle. I called it a pole, and there's so many comments on that video telling me what the proper name is. And I don't know what it is. But it was fantastic because basically that cabin was the same price as one on the side. The bit in front of the pole was the same size as my cabin on the side. And you just get this bonus stuff behind. So, yes, unless it literally says you have booked an obstructive view, you're not going to get an obstructive view. Do not worry. They cannot do that. But yes, the cruise I took was 6 nights, just for a quick recap. 6 nights, MSC Preziosa. I booked an inside cabin. Everybody books inside cabins, and every person I met on board was upgraded to a balcony. So MSC have some sort of balcony upgrade. It's on their website now. They didn't have that when we booked, but I think they backdated it because the only person I managed to find on the cruise who stayed in an inside cabin was someone who wanted to stay in an inside cabin and told them not to upgrade them. So fantastic. We paid £320 for 6 nights for this cruise, and we all had balcony cabins. Yes, this is the word for the pole thing. Yeah, I do put my cruise cards on the fridge. Yes, I normally keep it just with the information showing, just so I can see the dates on it more than anything. But yeah, it does look quite fancy, doesn't it? And it's got a hole in it for if you want to put it on a lanyard. I don't. Tim says, did you get a chocolate ship from your diamond status? No, I did not. But the MSC Preziosa doesn't have the chocolate shop on it, so they can't make chocolate ships. We got a bar of chocolate, so I guess that's the, Tom found one. The couple on our table didn't get an upgrade to an inside cabin. They never got the option. Oh, that's a shame. I did. My friends did. My new table mates did. And everybody on my list that I met did, other than one who wanted to stay in because they wanted to stay next to somebody else. Maybe they booked it at a different time. I don't know. But yes, if you book it right now, I think they have like a free upgrade promotion. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. 320 for an inside cabin. To be fair, though, we barely used the balcony because every sail away, every sail in, it was dark. Not much to see because every port is industrial. That is the problem with Northern Europe. It is cranes and shipping containers. How bright does your daylight alarm clock get? Does it simulate a small porthole? I would say it gets better. It gets brighter than the real outside. It lights up the whole room. It goes pretty bright, and it goes through different stages of orange. So it starts like deep orange, like the sun, and then it gets brighter and brighter, and it's white. Yes. Would I do a North Pole cruise? I don't know. Do they include robes on Princess, and can you keep them for free? It depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm not sure on when this happens. I don't like the robes. I don't really want to use them. My parents really like them. They always look for them, so they always let me know. And I think Mum's in the comments. Maybe Mum can let me know if she had them on Princess. We had robes on MSC. You definitely can't keep them. Definitely cannot keep them. They will charge you if you try and keep them. Don't do that. They do give you slippers though, and I have taken the slippers because they're disposable ones in a packet. And I'm gonna do a giveaway with they give me a bag always on MSC, the bag and the slippers, and I'll do that in the Patreon channel member thing at some point. What is the best way to carry a cruise card if you don't want to put it in a lanyard? So I'm on team phone case. Okay, so for me it goes in here. And I've had various different types. This is the one I have right now. This is just a plastic sticker that goes on your phone. And I've also had Hudson's back. Hi, Hudson. I've also had like squishy ones. Here's my old phone case. So you can put your card in there. And no, it doesn't wipe. It doesn't wipe your card. That hasn't happened to me in about 10 years. Used to, but I think maybe this thickness just stops it from wiping. But yeah, I have either this or I have this one. If you Google Emma Cruises Amazon, I have like an Amazon page on Amazon, and I have my phone things on there. So have a look at that. Didn't get robes. We had no status though. My mum had robes, but ordered them via the app. Yes, I remember that. So on Princess, everything happens in the app. Oh my goodness, Hudson looks so cute. Should we give him some dreamies? Let's give him some dreamies. Let's give Hudson some dreamies. Hudson says, meow, meow. Where can you go that we can see you? Up here? You have been a good boy, actually, so you can have some genies. There we go. There's Hudson. Just out of frame. It is dreamies. So yes, on Princess, you can order them. On MSC, we did have them, but I didn't unroll them. There's Hudson. There he is. It was strange, though, to not have an app at all, and I missed it because it's really weird. On MSC, from the Meraviglia onwards, they have a good app, and it works really well. It's not the most fancy. It doesn't do half the things that the Princess one does, but it does them well. And I would prefer an app that does something well than does 100 things but doesn't do them. And on MSC, on Preziosa, they don't have that. Yeah, Tom just says, have you tried a card holder on the back of your phone? That is what this is. This is exactly what this is. And I love it. I never lose my phone. I always have my phone on me, so it makes sense. Kept mine in a hat. You can keep one in a hat if you want. That's what we do. Yeah, I saw other people with this. I was like, genius. Genius, genius. There's Hudson. Housekeeping department starting salary approximately. I think I have a guide to this on my website. I can't remember it right now. Obviously, lots of things go into it. But if you go to emmacruises.com, Hudson is looking at you and asking, why are you talking to yourself? Or are you talking to me? I know, he doesn't really understand live streams. Tom says, whoops. That's okay. Becky says, how are the children's programs on MSC? I saw theirs something. Apparently very good. You know, I've never done the kids clubs on MSC. I was a child on my Norwegian cruises, so I tried those. But if you check out the cruise boys, they're normally in the chat, but they're on an MSC cruise right now. They have a son called Josh. He loves them, absolutely loves the MSC kids clubs. And it looked like the kids clubs were, the kids were having fun. Does the card slip out of the case? It doesn't, because it has little sticky out bits. It never is going to come out of there. This one, the other squishy one, more likely. This one, not so much. Read a lot of reviews regarding MSC and their food. I had this question more than any other question on this cruise, to the point where I kind of did a shortcut in my phone to the link, because I had to keep going, finding the link, putting it on Facebook, putting it on Instagram, putting it on Twitter, putting it in the YouTube comments. If you want to know in depth, like you want to see the food, if you go to my website, I took a picture of every single thing that I ate on my last MSC cruise, and the food on this cruise was the same as my last MSC cruise, to the point, like exactly the same. I ordered the same things because I knew that I liked them. The food was fine. Like, it's fine. It's okay. You're not going to come home from an MSC cruise and be like, that was a gourmet adventure, but you're also not going to be hungry. And there's certain things they do so much better than others. They do pizza fantastically. They do pasta brilliantly. They do bread very, very well. Donuts, great. So I think it depends kind of what you want on a cruise. It's not fancy food, but I've not had any problems with it. Back in 2012, it was a bit, small portions, not really sure if it was hot or not, but now it's always well cooked at least. I don't know if it is kind of a European, not European thing. I'm not sure. But it's fine. Like, it's totally fine. And it's so nice for me to cruise with people who have never cruised before, because I cruise with a person who was a first-time cruiser. I cruise with another person who was a second-time cruiser, and they love everything. They said that this food is amazing. This is so fancy. And I'm like, this is not fancy on the scale of cruises, because we've done, I've done so many cruises. So yes, it's all right. That's my conclusion. Yes, 572. Oh my goodness, that's more than normal. Normally we hover around kind of 400, 500, and I'm all right with that for some reason. But 568, we made 4 people leave. We called them out and they left. Would you do a world cruise if you could take Hudson? Probably not. I don't think Hudson would like it. And no, I don't think so. I don't think Cads would like that. Don't know. Are ships getting too big? Oh, I don't know. A lot of people will say yes. A lot of people will say no. I don't know. I have not done any of the big cruise ships yet. I've done, quite a few big cruise lines, big cruise ships for other cruise lines, but not the big Royal Caribbean ones. I've booked Symphony of the Seas for next year, so we'll do a very, very big ship, and I'll let you know. It depends. It's what you want on a cruise. If you want lots of choice, a big ship has that. If you don't want to walk very far, you're not going to have a very good time on Icon of the Seas, because you have to walk one end to the other. Me and my friends, we had completely different bookings. We weren't linked or anything. So my cabin was right at the front. Theirs was towards the back, not right at the back, but towards the back. And I filmed like a little time lapse of me walking from their cabin to mine. 3.5 minutes. Like, I'm not even kidding. 3.5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think the Princess app will work any better, since the ship I'm sailing on is only 5 to 7 months old? I don't think there's any correlation between how old the ship is and how well the app works. I went on quite an old ship, but then also there's less people using it there because it's an older and smaller ship, and it worked about 50-50. When it worked, it was absolutely fantastic. Like, it's really good. It just doesn't always work. Yes. Was Virtuosa better than Preziosa? I've had this conversation with myself quite a lot of times, because I've done Meraviglia. Virtuosa is pretty much the same. Seaview, and now Preziosa. Preziosa is quite a bit older, and I think, I might prefer Preziosa to Virtuosa. So Virtuosa's got that really impressive street in the middle with the dome and all the shops and the pub and everything like that. But Preziosa was really nice. Really, really nice. I really liked it. So, yeah, I don't know. What is London's local port, says Tom? Southampton is the main port that we have, and it is called sometimes London, and it's very far from London. I mean, it's not more of a stretch than Le Havre to Paris or Civitavecchia to Rome, but it's definitely not in London. London's in the middle of England. Like, it's not on the edges. Also, Dover is sometimes called London. It's not. We have London Tilbury, of course, but that's a smaller port. It's not as big as Southampton. I did cruise on Disney out of London Tilbury, and I am considering another one. But Southampton is if you're in the south, you're probably going to sail from Southampton. Or not. A lot of people on this cruise were from Scotland. It was the Scottish school holidays for the kids the week I went, and then the next week is the English one. So loads of people came down from Scotland to go on this cruise. It was mostly Scottish and German children, which was strange, because you see a child and you don't know if they're going to speak German or Scottish. I know that's English, but with a Scottish accent, or they're going to speak French or Spanish or Italian, or, you know, so many languages, which is fun. Yes, always bring comfy walking shoes. You will walk a lot. So much more than you think. Yes, so much more than you think. Would be fun to see the time it takes to get from your stateroom to the buffet on each cruise. That is important research. I like that. And on my Carnival cruise, it was, I don't know, 20 seconds maybe. We were very, very close. We had a cabin that was right by the stairs. There was no crap right by the stairs. You know, when I mean right by the stairs. And we would come out straight up the stairs, 2 decks, I think maybe 2 decks. Buffet. It was fantastic. Brilliant location. On this one, we were on deck 12. The buffet was on 14, but it was the other end. So it was walking across the outside pool, the inside pool. Yes, this cruise wasn't really a pool cruise. You know, we spent quite a lot of our time inside because, you know, it wasn't raining. We were very lucky with the weather, but it's still not sunbathing weather. You know, people were on the slides and the water parks and stuff. But yes. Any suggestions for apps and programs to track all the loyalty programs? Oh, I don't know of any that do that. I don't track anything like that. I don't. Yes, do they make it on board like the mozzarella, the cream cheese? I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. If you're someone who likes cheese, an MSC cruise is fantastic. There's a lot of cheese, a lot of cheese. And if you're a vegetarian, it's fantastic. They even have like a vegetarian section in the buffet. Of course, other things are vegetarian, but they have like a specific section with like nice vegetarian food. It's good. It is good. Do passengers on MSC Mediterranean cruises speak English, or do they mostly speak their native language? I'm sure there's a lot of people on the cruise that cannot speak English, but most people would, you would hear them speak some English. They don't need to speak English though. You know, if they're getting on a MSC cruise from Italy, then they'll probably, I don't know. The crew is the thing. You know, the crew don't all speak 8 languages. So it might be someone who is from somewhere speaking to the crew in English. It's not either of their first languages, but it's the common language, if that makes sense. English is still the primary language. Like, it is the first language. Even if you take an MSC cruise, I've done some from Italy, it still seems to be the main language. What advice would you give for price-wise single people who want to cruise? I know you have to pay for an imaginary companion, says David. I like that way of putting it, an imaginary companion. It would be to be very flexible on your timing, very flexible on your destinations, and look at, you know, occasionally, what was it I saw? It was like Hurtigruten or Ambassador or one of those cruise lines. I got an email saying no solo supplement. Go where the no solo supplements are. You know, if you want to, oh, I've got this week, I want to do this, you're going to struggle because the cruise line can sell that space. They know they can. But yeah, if you can go where the no solo supplements are, P&O quite often have them. MSC have them quite a lot. Yes. Flexibility is key. I know it's not always easy though. Are there still self-serve buffets? Yeah, everything is completely back to normal. Hand washing and sanitizing was much better on MSC than Carnival, but everything is back to self-service now. Yes, absolutely. Yes, this is what I did. So I did an MSC Mediterranean cruise in January, and it was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was sort of early 20s Celsius. But the difference is coming from England, going to somewhere like Barcelona, the days are just longer. It doesn't get dark at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So it's nice just to see blue skies again. I would thoroughly recommend it. Absolutely. Ellen says, what does no service supplements? I mean, a solo supplement is when if you go on a normal cruise and you're one person and you go in a cabin that's made for 2, you pay for the person who's not there, because otherwise the cruise line would sell it to a person and they would make more money. So you can't just go in the cabin and pay half. Sasha says, can you go cruising all year round for 115k? Asking for a friend who just lost their job. Absolutely you can. Definitely I could. I'm sure I could. Well, my cruise is, you know, £300 a week is kind of what I'm doing-ish. So maths on that one. I have a maths degree, but I'm not going to do any maths. I'm sure you would end up on lots of, you know, if you wanted to do a cheap, just constant cruise, you would end up across the Atlantic, Pacific, all kinds of weird itineraries, but it would be fantastic. Emma, you said last week that quite good is just so-so, but is brilliant the same as excellent? Yeah, brilliant's the same as excellent. If a show is brilliant, it's like very good. I know brilliant doesn't have such a wide use in other places. But here, anything can be brilliant. Food can be brilliant. A show can be brilliant. A haircut can be brilliant. Anything, yes. But I think this is the most important Britishism that I have ever done. Ever. I normally do things where you would just not know what it means. But this Britishism that I did in my carnival video is one that you've probably been misinterpreting me for 5 or 6 years if you've been watching my video since the beginning. And I only learned about this recently. So, yes. What do you do when you're not cruising? I write about cruises. I edit about cruises. I work with travel agents. I do courses. I do consultations. My life is still cruise, 100% cruise. Yes. I don't know where the MSC seaside is, no. But MSC will be the ones. They will know. MSC will know. On an MSC in the Mediterranean, as a solo cruiser, will they seat me with people that speak English? Oh, that's a good question. And on any other cruise line, I would say absolutely yes. And in theory, yes. But based on my kind of dining experience, you could get sat with people who don't speak English, I'm sure. Basically, you have fixed dining on MSC, early or late. If you pay for the higher cruise experience, which I don't pay for that, I pay for the cheapest one, you can move around. So my time dining. But yeah. Sasha says, my question might not have been entirely serious. I know that, Sasha, but is this you that lost your job? We'll talk about this later. Hudson is brilliant. Yes, it can be brill. Oh, absolutely. I say brill all the time. We shorten quite a lot of things in the UK that I don't realise. So I said the other day, I was like, oh, I'll do it in a mo, like for moment. We all say in a mo, but I have to sometimes explain. Will you keep your hair short? I'll keep it shorter than it was, but I will not keep it this short. Like, what is this? I am thinking though, because I've done these live streams with my hair as it has been ever since I did the head shave. So I might do like a compilation of like a couple of seconds from each one, and we can see my hair grow for like a year, which could be quite cool. I have tried to do the thing where you take a picture every single day, but I just can't remember. Just cannot remember. Andrew says, have you ever been in the MSC Yacht Club? I have never stayed in the Yacht Club, but I've been in the Yacht Club on like press when they show everybody around. I've had dinner in the Yacht Club, but I've never stayed there. And I don't think it's the type of thing I would pay for. It's basically an area in the ship that's more expensive because it's more exclusive. So I understand why people would do it. If you're taking an MSC cruise in the school holidays, there's kids everywhere. You can't get a seat. It's crazy. It's basically like a guaranteed... You've got your own pool deck normally. You've got your own restaurant. Oh, Hudson's back. You've got your own... Oh, no, he's all wet. It must be raining. Is it raining? Oh, dear. It's raining. You want to say hi? Say meow. Ugh, you're rainy. Ugh. Ew. Thanks, Hudson. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, back to the live stream. You can dry off. Okay, I think he's all right. I think he's okay. But yes, that's what the Yacht Club is. Quite a lot of cruise lines have it. Norwegian has the Haven. Cunard have their bit. Quite a few have it, but yeah. I think really it's worth it if you. It's just a guaranteed space. It's just more space per person. It's not, the restaurant isn't much nicer than the other ones, and it's all the same. MSC cruise ships are very, very samey. Is Hudson an outside cat? When he wants to be an outside cat, he's an outside cat. When he wants to be an inside cat, he's an inside cat. He goes and he comes and he's in charge of his own life. Here in England, unless there's a reason your cat can't go outside, the cats go outside. We don't have any like coyotes or like anything that eat cats. He's so fluffy, it's all in my mouth. Oh. Any advice or tips for a transatlantic on the MSC Preziosa? Ugh, sneezy. I'll be doing a Brazil to Hamburg. It's my first cruise and kind of anxious. Oh, exciting. You'll have quite a lot of sea days, so make sure you plan things like you stock up your phone with audiobooks and podcasts. And they do things like they'll have trivia, they'll have dance classes, they'll have game shows, but it's not as busy as like on a Royal Caribbean cruise or a Norwegian cruise. Like you need to be able to entertain yourself and just sit in a bar and be happy, which I definitely can. I can sit in a bar and be quite okay. Does Hudson have a British meow or an American meow? Well, I don't know. I adopted him. He was 5 years old, so he could have been from anywhere. This whole time he could be speaking Spanish for all I know. But it just sounds like meows. Yeah, we have wild foxes, but foxes are usually scared of cats. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Did you share your room for it to be so cheap, as in 320? Just curious. Yes. So 320 per person, 2 people sharing. This is how all my videos are. I try and make it as clear as I can. I try and say it over and over again. I didn't in this live stream, so I apologize. But yes, always 2 sharing. Yes, 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 yes. They did have pretty good solo prices though. Like you could do it solo for 500-ish. So that's pretty cool. Do you need a drinks package on MSC? Depends how much you're going to drink. For me, if I was to try and drink the amount of the alcohol package, I'll be asleep every single day. I would be miserable. I'd be seasick. No, I don't drink that much. I normally get a soda package if a cruise line has soda only, but MSC doesn't. They only have a soft drinks package with the tea and the coffee. I've never drunk a cup of coffee in my life. Don't want to, not going to start now. So for me, it's not really worth it. And I will say on MSC, I drink peppermint tea all the time. This is what this is. And MSC do the best peppermint tea of all cruise lines. And you would think it's just peppermint leaves. How can it be different? I don't know. But it may be to do with the water machines. You can do different temperatures, so you can have it really hot. And they have proper mugs as well. Sometimes on cruise lines, the mugs will be like absolutely tiny. So of all the cruise lines, even Cunard, sorry, Cunard, you have the fancy mugs. I want like a normal mug. So MSC is the best. And tea, of course, is free in the buffet. They didn't have kettles in our cabin, but that may be because Preziosa is only in the UK for a couple more weeks and she's going away. So that is it. What drinks are included with an MSC cruise? So in the buffet, you've got tea, you've got coffee, you've got juices. Normally the juices are just for breakfast, but it seemed to go on into the early afternoon normally. So it's like pineapple juice, orange juice, apple juice, tropical juice. Those things in the buffet are free. They do also have bars in the buffet, so you can buy beer or soft drinks, anything like that. And apart from that, what I have included on MSC Cruise, being from the UK, if you book it from different countries, it's slightly different. But you just get tea and coffee and water with meals. That's what you get. I bought some of my little squished squashes. So I had squash when I was in the room. I bought a couple of Pepsis per day, and then the rest of the time, just tea and water. Yeah, exactly. My soda supplement on Seashore was 7%. So that is pretty good. That is pretty good. That's much better than the normal 100%. So John basically paid 107% for the privilege of being by himself in the room, which is fair. I do understand why cruise lines do it. You know, why would they sell to one person in a room when they could have 2 people in the room? Because not only are they losing a person, but they want that person to be there to spend money in the casino, to go on excursions, to go on drinks. So that's kind of where the solo supplement thing comes from. Can you take food from the buffet to your cabin on MSC and Nncl? You absolutely can. Yes, I did this yesterday for breakfast today. So I'm not a person on disembarkation morning who wants to drag it out. I don't want to go to breakfast, but I just eat bread and bananas for breakfast. Really, that's my ideal breakfast. Didn't see any bananas. So that was sad, but I got some bread rolls. Took them to my room. Put them in a bowl. Put the little thing that comes with the. Oh, we've got weird people in here again. Blocking people. Put the little serviette over it. Took it back to my room. Absolutely fun. Totally fun. You can do that. It is nearly the end of this live stream. Oh my goodness. This has flown by. I'm going to get back to writing this video straight after this because I am excited. I've been thinking about it all week, so I think it'll be good. I'm going to try and keep it, I don't know how long. We'll see. I always say this. I'm going to make it shorter, but it doesn't. Oh, do you have a banana sandwich? That sounds terrible. No, definitely not. MSC don't have a soda package. They only have a soft drinks package, which is like 23 euros a day or something, and way more than I would spend on soda for sure. I like cruise lines, like if you go on Royal Caribbean, if you go on Carnival, it's like $8 a day. That is much more my kind of price, but I need to cut down on the soda, so it's not too bad. Are you allowed to carry drinks around the entire ship? Yeah, some cruise lines won't let you take drinks into the theatre, but on MSC, you can carry them anywhere. Yes, doesn't matter. Most of them, yes. Yes, thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. So I'm going to still be here next week at the normal time. We will stick to the normal schedule, which is 5 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. Eastern American time. I say that and I hope everyone else can work out if you're in the US or Canada. You have so many time zones. It's very, very confusing. I just changed time zone today. You know, I was in the French time zone yesterday. So that's interesting. But yes, I'm going to get straight back to writing this video. I'm excited. Can't wait to share it. But yes, if you are in Patreon or you're a channel member and you want a Christmas card, this is your last call. You've got like 2 hours and then I will do it. Everyone hit like. Yes, please. Are there many power outlets in the cabins? Go to my website, type in power, and you will find my guide. You can search the table. All the cruise ships are on there. It took me ages to put that together, so I would appreciate that. Bye to Keith and Jill. Thanks for answering my question. You are very welcome. I try and answer as many as I can. Thanks to Owen. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic Friday. Yes, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back here. And goodbye from Hudson, but he's gone. He just came and just got me all wet and got his fluff in my mouth and then he left. Yeah, hugs to Hudson. Yes. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you soon. Thanks, Johnny and Will.